A passion for science and music. Fieldwork, campfire, jam sessions, and geology lessons helped inspire senior Joe Levity to pursue songwriting full time. I was always really driven by the melodies and compositions. What I never really paid attention on the say words sexualities who the pursuing songwriting full time after graduation. I was going through a pretty through tough time and ended up starting to writing songs to process what was happening. In the quiet hall, in the quiet hall of a hidden library, Joey Latvy's soft musical voice fills the room. The, the aqueous and preferred for amplifying her words and her innate passion of geology, or more specifically, paleomagnetism, using magnetic to study geological history of Earth, which is the focus of her senior thesis. The question is, when did plate tectonics actually starts? Levitt explained, her hands moving in rhythm with her words. Was it in, uh, intermittent or was continuous? As a senior of class 12 Earth Atmospheric and Planetary Science EAPS, it seems like Levitt on track to head off to graduate school and further her geological pursuits elsewhere. What she is not lative times at MIT has been filled with unexpected surprise, including choosing zoology as her major in the first place. Now that she is finished, she is settled on an entirely different field, songwriting. I really have loved studying geology, she explains, but right now I really feel the need to pursue music. Latif grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, no stranger to people of MIT and their passion. Where she arrived at MIT, she had been thinking of majoring in math or engineering, but she was pursued to major in geology after singing up for a fresh orientation program FPOP to Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Park. I really applied for the trip just because I wanted to get out of Boston and go see somewhere else. She laughs, confessing that the idea of just going to restaurant or other places of the area seems too boring. The trip also coincided with the 2017 escape, so between that hiking and learning about geology with experts, Latif was sold. She did geology research this summer after her first year, working with a postdoc in Creston Bagerton lab, where they have looked at 1.8 billion year old rocks to trying to understand the oxygen environment at that time and concretion. She did her first fieldwork trip to Michigan and then fall returned to the Yellowstone on the FPOP trip, this time as teaching assistant. I think EAPS is really special in that you get to on these trips into the field with a professor and really get to know them and go to net their expertise. She says on the her favorite EAPS moments was a trip in January 2020. The field took had been brought a guitar and Levitt bring her mandolin and gathered to zimmed around the campfire where everyone chatted. Music has long been a part of Lethi's life. Her father brought to her a baby Tyler guitar for her 6th birthday, and she switched to mandolin as her primary instrument a few years later. She grew up in the bluegrass scenes, attending festivals with her father. I always really driven by the melodies for composition, but I never really paid attention on the words. She explains, I was going through a pretty tough time and ended starting to write song to process what was happening. In spring 2020, Lethibi Lee Lee Tibi was really to took a serious step into songwriting. So she reached out to Kalia Bud Smith, a German Grammy Award nominated musician. Bud Smith, like many musicians whose plans were disrupted by the pandemic, agreed to lessons. Lethi's songwriting was first begun as way of her process her emotions and experiences as sexual assaults severe. She has since sharing her songs to arise awareness, including recording two songs with the experiences as severe for the National Public Radio's Tiny Desk concert and performing its autobiographical pieces in the 2022 MIT Monoglonus. She also performed at the Boston Area Rape Crisis Center, walked into Change recording to the Cambridge Women's Center's video ceremonies is their 50th anniversary. I hope that sharing my songs can bring healing to others as it had for me, she says. Since then, Lethi has been bringing his curiosity and passion for discovery. There her time EAPS explored new topics for her music. Since what the mental health struggles, historical narratives, and the historical songs. Her song "We Flattened the Curve" comment the strategically on the US COVID-19 response using mathematical observations. Lathibis, who is adding to majoring in geology as minoring in both music and maths, jokes that she is already putting that math degree in some good use. Even though Lethivi officially graduated in the spring, she isn't done with MIT just yet. She was awarded an Indonesian Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship, which she will be using to further her musical pursuit. This fall, she is hoped to travel to Nepal to collaborate with local musicians on a project recording and transcribing traditional music. And she isn't done with geology either. She will be spending 6 weeks doing fieldwork with EAPS Professor Olive Jared in the Himalayan in January 20 in July. I hadn't made out the field since 2020. So I am really excited to go back to out there, she says. In the field, in the fall, will be focusing on sharing my music for viewing and see what happens from there.